Brother Ken,
Hey
my
Naveen,
man.
how are you, man?
Good, good. How are you? How are you, bro?
Been having burnout, bro. All
Oh
the
dear.
work and all. It's the first quarter of the year, so we're just getting over Christmas in Chinese New Year, and now we've
Yes.
got we've got a surge of, how do you call it, close contacts from COVID positive cases.
Okay.
Yeah, but thankfully, I think um, all of these cases turn out to be negative. But again, yeah, it's something that needs to be. People need to remember that COVID is still not over. Pandemic is still on. The fight is still, ongoing, and we shouldn't let our guts down.
Good question because not a good question. Good point because I think people are just tired. You've used this word once, pandemic fatigue, right? But what's happening in Malaysia now? I mean, are things returning to normal? Is there a vaccination program? I'm seeing bits and pieces online.
Yeah, vaccination program is on, but right now it's the frontliners, rescue services, medical services, some groups of politicians, and yeah, it will still be some time from now before the majority of, how do you call it, people get vaccinated. The numbers are still at the four figures. That there is still a need to do more mass testing.
Hmm.
The number of testing has actually gone down, which again reflects on the, how do you call it, the actual number. I'm still skeptical about the numbers, bro.
You think it's not being reported accurately?
N- it's a personal opinion. It's a personal opinion. And also, I think people are reluctant in getting themselves tested. There are people, I mean, a lot of people out there who doesn't believe in COVID in the first place until they get it.
Agreed. Completely agree with you. Well, I think what's happening, and this again, unscripted and straight to the point. I was talking to a friend yesterday or day before, and I said that the media is basically playing down the seriousness of COVID now. They're not actually reporting how the serious, I mean, the actual problems or the seriousness of the pandemic anymore like they did last year. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm misinformed, but they're going towards more of like talking about opening up economies, borders, restarting holidays, these sort of things. But the truth is, as you've just touched on, it's we're far from that point. And even the vaccine is now a question mark with all these side effects now showing its uh, ugly side. Um, it's crazy. I mean, people
The
are
thing
just
about the side effects, the thing about side effects, bro, I don't. Well, I'm not a medical professional, all right. This is a disclaimer. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a practitioner. But when you talk about the side effects, um, people die, right? People die. Some cases where we have people with comorbidities who are being vaccinated and they die, right? Um, if we were to understand that people with comorbidities, their likelihood and chances of dying are actually greater because of their existing conditions, regardless of whether they get vaccinated or not, right? So again, as we understand how the dynamics have been changing, whether these incidences of so-called side effects are actually related to the vaccines alone, or are they actually due to other factors? So it's whether it's an actual cause of death or a perceived cause of death. And bro, any vaccines, any and every vaccines, right? These are the kind of so-called side effects that it's not a new thing, bro. Vaccines that we have right now it's an existing technology. It's been there for 20, 30 over years. It's not something that's been developed overnight. Safety measures have already been researched um, before it's being allowed to administer into humans. It has already gone through all the trial phases, and this has been proven through various research, and people shouldn't be afraid of vaccines, like, bro.
Correct. I agree with you. But one thing, and again, just like you, full disclaimer, I'm not a medical practitioner or a professional or a doctor. Um, the the issue here is this, right? And I'm a very firm believer with this. Anything that is expedited without going through its due process, right? Like any drug or any medication that's ever been made for humankind, right? Goes through at least a 5 or 10 year time frame before it's actually then produced, right? For to cure a particular disease or a problem, right? When it came to COVID, they had to come up with a solution to slow this pandemic down, right? And the vaccines that we have right now was developed late last year or last year at some point and rolled out this year, all right? And it's version one of many versions that are going to be used, right? I personally believe in vaccination. I believe that's the way to go. That's the responsible way to go. And no drug company, I mean, everybody has got their own views on things, but every drug company in the world wants to help slow this pandemic down. That mutual interest is there. But in saying that, touching on your points, side effects is evident in any medication that you take, even
Right.
besides vaccines, right?
and
It's
and
just like,
and
yeah,
bro, can I just cut you there?
please go ahead.
The so-called side effects is one thing, and how long does the antibody last is still a big question, right? What the medical, I mean, based on what I've read, yesterday I attended one webinar. Um, the what a lot of people in the medical community, they know for a fact that the vaccines last at a minimum of 6 months.
Yeah.
Right, this is something that's already been established. Okay, there's no doubt about it. There's no question about it. So it is totally understood that what you mentioned about the testing, the trials, how things have been shortened, in terms of the length of time and all that. Agreed. It's actually super fast how things have been rolled out, but these are based on existing research, existing models of testing and research, right? For them to derive the conclusion. I mean, I'm using layman terms here to derive the conclusion that these vaccines are safe for human consumption or human use. Okay, but there are further research that needs to be done, whether these vaccines can last for even as long as 1 year.
Mm.
So, dude, this is something that is already beyond the what do you call the execution phase, right? Sorry, I'm like I said, this is a very layman term from what I understand based on the webinars that I've attended recently, right? So yeah, whether we get vaccinated and whether our immunity will last 1 year and beyond, that is where we are still it's still a bit it's still a question mark. Okay,
Yes.
but whether the question of having a vaccine safe for us, there shouldn't be any doubt about that. It is safe because, like I said, this is not a new technology. mRNA, deactivated cells, whatever from the virus, those have been used in traditional or conventional vaccines. So this is not new. This is nothing surprising. Um, and it is actually an advancement in technology because if these if it takes X amount of days to build a car versus X amount of hours to build a car, and that car has the same set of safety features as those that have been built for X number of months, which would you prefer? Of course, the one that you can get your hands on right away,
Of
if it
course.
is a necessity, right?
Yes.
So
Agreed.
that's how I look at it, bro. Again, yep, you guys can, the viewers can criticize me, whatever. I'm not a medical professional. I do trust the vaccines. Agree to disagree. I do find that some concerns are valid. I do understand that people are worried, and everyone have the right to be worried about things that have not been. It's technology, bro. Right? We always think about the future. Sometimes we do get worried about the future, how things are going to impact us right now.
Yeah. So, are you going to get the vaccine yourself?
I've already registered, bro.
Fantastic. So, when are you due for your first?
Whenever the government says go, I'll go. I have to wait for my queue.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. It's interesting because I won't lie to you. It's been now more than a year since I've been in Perth. All right. I came here on the 11th of March 2020, and here we are, 20th of March 2021. I am feeling very restless. I do want to travel back to Singapore. Family is one thing, but also business fatigue with my staff is also another issue. And this comes to the point of our last chat where we spoke about how people either thrive or they falter in adverse situations. So traveling is a real huge challenge. I'll be very honest with you. It's a big challenge. Everyone around me, I've got a very good close mate of mine. He came in from Norway about 4 weeks ago, and he was in quarantine for 2 weeks. And then now next week he's going to go back to Oslo. The point I'm trying to make is that the whole process is not straightforward like it was before the COVID-19 restrictions have come in. So it's very disheartening to an extent that with all these restrictions, you don't know when you can travel because we need to get back to business, and we need to find the solution, and we hope that the vaccine will be that passport, that solution, right? And everybody's talking about it. There's a lot of talk in the grapevine that they said that once at least majority of the global population is vaccinated, they will have a health passport type arrangement where we can start to resume travel under
Yep.
controlled circumstances, right? But again, it's a question mark because, like I said, we have our own researchers, and our researchers are telling us there's new strains that are being discovered now in Germany, in Brazil, in the US. And it's a matter of time till that causes another wave of infections. And apparently, what's happening is people who were vaccinated are getting reinfected with the virus in some cases. So, personally, I would say the prediction of things probably getting back to some sort of nominality would be maybe in 2024, 2025. Um, I hope I'm wrong, but it's challenging, bro. It's very, very challenging.
So you do recall when I mentioned that normality is going to come back after 5 years
Yes,
and beyond, right?
yes, yes. I
This is
agree.
now something that we're seeing in reports, right?
Yeah, and obviously working from home, everything is being reduced, and the focus now on mental health, work-life balance, all these sort of other things that are coming into play now are being it's being scrutinized more, it's being focused on more, and things like that. But the other problem is, I don't know whether you have seen things, but I've watched stuff, I've read stuff. People are losing their minds when they go out. Like, okay, we all have a glass of wine or beer every now and then, but after a glass of beer, people are losing their mind. They're getting violent. They're breaking. There's fights. In my home country of Malaysia. But it's not only that. It's happening everywhere. Singapore as well. Okay. Australia. I think it's happening more in places where there's a very tight lockdown type arrangement, right? And it's really sad to see this, because in the olden days, if you probably needed to polish off maybe 3 or 4 bottles of Shivas before you started a fight. Not a glass of beer and you lose your mind. And it's sad because innocent people are dying.
This is where alcohol vaccination needs to come in, bro. It needs to start from home, bro.
Yeah, but man, I really don't know what to say. It's like it's really sad to see this.
Yep. If you recall, during our last chat, we did mention about looking within people, mental health, personality types. So all of this has a role to play.
So tell me something, right? What would be the alternative? Because people need some time out. I'm sure you need some time out. I need some time out at some point, right? To regroup, to refresh. What do we do? I mean, some of us start online businesses. Some of us start YouTube channels, Instagram. We can't travel, and there's this itch, isn't it? We are so used by cheap travel, and by the way, travel is no longer cheap. All right, it's freaking expensive, right? We can't go anywhere. We probably can do Chuti Malaysia or Chuti Perth or something like that. But how many staycations can one do? I mean, I personally am not a big fan of staycations, because why would I pay money to go to a hotel 20 minutes from my house? I just can't do it. It's just not me.
Yep. Neither for me. It doesn't work for me, bro. If I need to take a break, I'll go off the grid. I'll go somewhere far from where I live, for me time, for recovery, for recuperation, right?
Yeah.
Like this week, I've been really, really down. Even well,
Want to talk about it, bro?
Nah, some things are related to work, so I don't think it's
Okay.
appropriate for me to mention. Yeah, I would want to go somewhere. It depends on people. Some people might want to go with their friends. Some people want to go with family. For me, I would rather go on my own, somewhere off the grid. No distractions. Just recover, recuperate, refresh, rejuvenate, whatever you call yourself. Um, and yeah, some people who don't have that, how do I call it, luxury of time or freedom, for whatever reason, they're tied down with the kids, with the commitments. Yeah, we have seen people who thrive in this time of crisis. All right, we've
Yes.
seen people thriving while working from home. When we say
Yes.
working from home, we're also looking at home entrepreneurs, home
Yes.
businesses, home-based businesses, small cottage mom and pop businesses, uh, which are thriving in this pandemic. Right,
Yes.
the biggest losers are usually those who are from the big organizations, those who depend on tourism, those who depend on
Mm.
travels, those who depend on, you know, the movement of people, transports.
Yes.
Right, this is a challenging time for these people. Right, and we are seeing a lot of these groups are who are falling right now, dropping. I mean, some hotels have already shut down.
Yes.
Not
Correct.
some, a lot of hotels already shut down. Um, it's actually a time, like, if there is a way to describe this, it's like hitting the reset button, bro.
Mm.
We're going back to what really matters to us most, right? If you're locked in a community, look, bro. Are you familiar with the Kowloon walled city in Hong Kong?
I've
Have you
heard
heard
of
of
it.
it?
I've heard of it.
So that is actually a very good example. Okay, these guys, look. I mean, politics, history, whatever aside, British versus China, put all this aside, right? It's like a huge nest of human beings. Okay, you put people locked down in that confined community, and they thrive, bro. How did they thrive? They have their own mini economy in there. They started having small factories in there. They have their own cottage industry in there. They survive. They thrive in that 4x4. When I say 4x4, it's that wall city in there with 50 over 1,000 people who are crammed in that kind of environment, bro. Where we are right now is like a huge walled city right now. We can't travel out of the country. We can't go interstate.
That's very good.
We are suspicious of each other.
Yes. Absolutely.
So I think that is actually a good model to reflect upon. You might want to look it up. It's a very interesting thing. It's a very dystopian kind of, culture. People are thriving and surviving within that kind of community. And surprisingly, um, it's either because of lack of data, or the people who actually live in a walled city weren't committing as much crimes as what people had perceived. It's quite interesting. I've been, out of boredom, I believe, and also probably because of the kind of scenario that we are in. I thought to myself, hey, the kind of society that we live in right now is like a huge walled city. So what would have the people in the walled city of Kowloon, how would they how would it how did they thrive? How could they thrive in that kind of environment? It's so huge, yet so small for a land size. Okay, and it's like living in anarchy, bro. You have
Wow.
no law enforcers weren't able to enforce the law against them within the walled city. Think about it, bro.
That's amazing. And that's a really, really good um, explanation you have given, because we are all living in a walled city at the moment, right? Everywhere in the world. All right. Um, And I think what has happened is, as the human race, we had to evolve in 12 months. People evolve
Yep.
over years and years and years, and we had to accelerate that in 12 months. Yes, technology also accelerated in 12 months. A lot of things
Yep.
that we have seen in 5 years, we saw it in 12 months. You know?
Mobile phone is a good example.
Yes, absolutely. Zoom, what we're on now, video conferencing facilities and things like that. But also, I think, as you've said, people who have been looking for other forms of income have gone online and have been very successful. And what that does is, I think, when one door closes, another door opens, right?
Precisely.
And again, I think we as a community, I think a majority of us are still stuck in 2019. We have not left 2019. I will tell you, in some cases, I'm a bit lost when I look at things, because I can't believe that I did certain things. It wasn't last year, it was the year before. You're like, oh my God, it's the year before, it's now 2 years ago. And we're
And
still trying to process that.
people who are salary earners, this is actually the time for people like those who earn salary, not the businesses, right? It's a good time to save money right now,
Yes,
because you don't travel that much, you don't go shopping that much. So what do you do with your money?
put it into the bank.
Whatever means, bro. I think this is actually a time where people can set the priorities, especially if previously they used to have concerns or they used to have debt problems, right? Now, I think it's actually the best time to look into how they can restructure the payments when they are actually spending less on the non-essential.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, if you think about it, that's a really great point.
It's actually from a personal experience, bro. It's not something that I've thought of. All right, it happened to me. Okay, I used to spend on a lot of on entertainment, whatever. But now I realized that I can actually save more than what I thought I could.
that's really good. And that, I would say, that's the same for me as well. A lot of my expenses went on travel.
Yeah.
Travel, accommodation, miscellaneous. So, I mean, for the publics who are watching this miscellaneous, read between the lines, right? But honestly, yes, it's helped me again restructure a lot of my finances, a lot of focusing on important things, because you don't know what's going to happen now. I think this COVID-19 has taught us that we really don't know what's around the corner.
Yep. And that's actually something exciting, right? If you look at it from that perspective. If you are someone who is an entrepreneur, if you are someone who is hungry for new challenges, if you're someone who is looking into new development in business, it's not about what's lacking in life, bro. It's not about money that's lacking, it's not about the freedom that you're lacking, but rather that re-strategizing of things and how you want to see a better result based on I mean, if you're having that mentality, if you're having that entrepreneur mentality, you're always hungry for challenges. You want to be on top of things. You want to be the alpha, bro. You want to be ahead of the
That's
pack. You
it.
want to be leading the community, right? You don't want to be taking challenges as burdens, as stumbling block that hinders your growth. Okay, so this situation brings back to what we discussed in the past, the best and worst of us. Okay,
Yes.
So it takes that minority of people to look into ways how we can solve or find solutions to get out of this challenge. There's this temporary phase of challenge. All right. And believe me, a lot of people who actually succeed in this eventually will be way, way ahead of everyone else, bro.
I can't agree more with that. I can't agree more with that. You're absolutely right, because I'm realizing that we are at the bottom of the pile at the moment, and
It's
as
our
time comes,
generation now. This is our
yes,
generation. We've seen these we've seen this in the past during the Asian financial crisis, how the earlier generations cope with it, but it was not COVID.
it
It
wasn't.
was
It was
not
nowhere close to this type of magnitude.
not at all, right? And
Yeah.
we've seen how these people thrive during the worst of times and how they've grown and outgrow others after that phase.
Yes.
So don't give up, all right? Our viewers, our friends, or our followers, don't give up. Keep looking for ways. Keep improving your strategy. Find a better strategy, all right? Um, Working from home, you don't look the old mindset of money making money is obsolete. Is obsolete. You don't need more money. You need a better strategy. This is what a lot of you
Mm.
know.
I like that. I
Um,
like that.
I'd be very open with you, bro. You can agree, you can disagree with this. I've been listening to a lot of these business entrepreneur gurus, whatever. This is something that I've picked up. Okay, for motivation. Sometimes I need to listen to more. How do you call it? What I would perceive as people who are more successful, what they're talking about, right? And they don't talk just for the sake of talking. They have been there, they have achieved it, they're there, right? And what they have to share is where I think we can actually apply for ourselves, wherever that's applicable, bro. Of course, you can't just think of having a strategy just overnight. You need to
Of course,
explore. You need to look into
it takes
your
time.
strength. Bro, when we've done our our business presentations in the past, we used to look into strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. SWOT
Yes,
analysis, for example. We used to identify what are the strengths, what are our weaknesses, and what can we derive from there as our opportunities, and who are our
absolutely.
threats, right? It's an example, bro. I think from there we can actually look into how we can engineer ourselves within our community to benefit everyone. Who's going to benefit from our business at the end of the day? We need to look into stakeholders who can actually
Of course.
buy in. All right, it's not just about us making that money, but how can we grow as a society? How can we grow as a community? Bro, successful people don't just make money for themselves. They benefit others, they help others to thrive, they want people to grow, right? I think that is where, even though you're working from home, it doesn't matter, but that untapped strategy, I think that can be a determining point upon exceeding this pandemic, bro.
That's excellent.
I sound a bit like a business guru right now, but I'm not. Okay, I'm also learning. I'm applying what I've learned. I'm trying my best to cope with whatever challenges that I'm
No, I
facing
think
right
this
now.
is what we need, right? This is what we need, because we are, whatever we are talking is based on our weekly experience, our daily experiences, and things like that. And whatever you've just said certainly resonates with me. All right. Because I'm also, some days I'm stuck in a tunnel. I can't see what's on the other end. I'm stuck doing repetitive tasks, which is holding up revenue generating activities for me. All right. And sometimes we need to be told, that we need to change the strategy.
Yeah, if what we are doing today isn't yielding the result that we desire, obviously there's something wrong. Most of us are satisfied with being mediocre. Most of us are happy with just getting one customer.
Yes.
But bro, it's not about marketing anymore. This is the time when we are looking into closing. If you can close one customer that can bring you back another 10 or 100 customers,
Yes, absolutely.
it's the value that comes with it, bro. It's no longer about, can I just close like one customer per day? That's the average mindset that everyone has. I
Yeah.
wake up in the morning, I want to go for one customer. If I close, I'm happy. If I don't, I'll just move on to the next. No, I think we want to have that mindset that when we close a customer, we want that customer to thrive also with us. They can
Absolutely.
also benefit another 100, another
Yeah.
1,000 more
It's
customers.
it's an effect. So, basically, in essence, what you're trying to say is that one customer should give you another 5 possible leads or another 10 possible leads and things like that. That's great. But I think the other way of looking at it is also the more people you speak to, the more chance you have of converting as well. You know, and I think sales is just not for business. I think we need to do that in our lives as well. The more
Correct.
people who add value to our life, the better we become as a person.
It's like the Facebook friend thing, bro. You can have
Yes,
5,000 people in your friend list, but who are your real friends?
yes, that's right.
And that's what I've done over the last few months. I've reduced the number of followers and friends in my Facebook down to less than 10% now. All right. And to me, I want to even bring it down even lower if I can. You have people who hardly ever say hi to you in your social media accounts, started to comment when you started posting things that triggers them. I don't know how that actually makes sense to me or most other people. But when they start commenting negatively, that doesn't affect me at all, because all this while you have never even said hi to me. How can I actually put value into your concerns when
Yes,
all this while you've been silent?
yes, yes, correct.
I do question these people. I mean, why are you following me when you're not even, giving me any value based on your number? In that group of friends in Facebook, for example, you just
Yeah,
you're just a number. You know,
correct.
whatever you
Absolutely.
say is, if it makes sense to me, fine. But if it starts going into your personal sentiments, unfortunately, I don't have time for that.
I mean, that's so. Can I ask you something? Can I ask you a sensitive question?
Let's see.
It's nothing got to do with your tom yum recipes, right? That we've
Okay,
been talking about.
tell me, bro.
No, it was just. I'm just trying to humor you. All right. Because I loved your tom yum recipe. In fact, I tried your tom yum recipe at home. I think I'm just missing a few more touches, but luckily, I was smart enough to screenshot the steps so that I can refer back to it. I mean, look, jokes aside, that was a
Yeah,
fantastic recipe. Thank you very much, bro, for sharing that.
thank you.
And I'm obviously one of your fans and your friends on Facebook. I'm not going to go into any details, but yes, I've seen your posts, and you're absolutely right. So I think what I have as well, just like you, we've got these multitude of friends on our social media, but they are all just silently observing us on what we're doing and not saying much, not even saying hello, not even liking what we post. And I talk for myself, right? Basically, zero support. But they know when to come out of the woodwork when it suits them, you know.
Yeah.
And I think social media is very, the key word is there, social. So social means you engage. I'm not saying every day or every minute, but like just how you engage with a friend, right?
See, bro, for me on social media, I personally I don't have that critical need for it. Okay. Let me just put it very bluntly. I can live without social media. Okay. But I maintain that so that I can always continue to keep in touch with people that matters most to me.
Yeah,
My family, my distant family,
of course.
my close friends, my high school mates. I don't keep my business contacts in Facebook, for example. All right. Work is work, business is business. It's different, right?
Yes.
Um, I rant, I post stupid stuff on Facebook, I do memes, I troll people, but bro, this is like just for there's no censor in this recording, right? Just for the of it, bro. I don't have any vested interest in Facebook. I'm sorry. So I don't take Facebook seriously. It's not life or death for me. Um, some people are just a number for me in the friend list. You know, I I'm not someone who is out there to seek something that is of very minimal value to me.
Absolutely. But I have to say, Brother Ken, I enjoy your contents. You have put a lot of effort into your contents. I have to say, I can't even do that. You're really
Dude,
good.
it's just random stuff. Okay, there's no effort into it, and you can see I removed them. It's like a Snapchat
Yes,
style of post for me. I post it and I delete it within the next day. I do my daily cleanups, bro.
right.
So you don't see my post lasting anything beyond 1 week.
Yeah. No, but honestly, most of your posts make sense. I can read between the lines, but I'm sorry to say this, there are a lot of thick people out there who can't read between the lines. You know what I mean? And it's really intelligent. Like I read your stuff when I can't sleep, middle of the night, it shows up, and I smile at least. At least I smile and I go to bed or I have a bit of a laugh, you know. But great work, excellent points we have covered today. It's been an excellent session. Definitely, you have a lot to share with the viewers, and we've got to do maybe, hopefully, once. Very sorry, guys. Once we get all our content up, there's a few things coming up. Maybe one of these days we can do a YouTube stream, and see how that goes.
Yeah.
So, anything else, Brother Ken, would you like to add before we close off today's unscripted session?
Well, during the invites, we were talking about home-based entrepreneurs and emerging. I don't know. I don't see that home-based entrepreneurs is something that is emerging. Working from home has always been a thing since the past. Okay, it's nothing new, right? It's just about that kind of system that we grew up with. Go to school, do your best, be mediocre, move on to the next standard or form in our school.
Yes.
You graduate, find a job. But what they've never taught us is how to work from home.
That's it.
And this is something that a lot of people are just rediscovering when it has always been there, way before we were told that, we got to go to school,
Yeah.
get educated, come out, get a good job. All right. Look, how many good jobs are there out there in the market? How many quality jobs that actually help you to grow out there in the market? Okay.
You can count.
No, there's nothing more satisfying than working from home, doing your own stuff that you love and enjoy, right? You need to have the passion for it. Even if you get the best in your perception, the best kind of job that you have, you still need to sustain, you still need to grow, you still need to improve yourself, you still need to improve your productivity, right?
Yes,
All of these are being measured. Likewise, when you're working alone from home, you need to keep improving yourself and find new ways how you can actually get people to help you grow as well.
correct. And it's
Yeah.
all about, there's so much of content out there that you can access for free. Podcasts, YouTube, uh,
Or our
Facebook,
channel.
you know, there's so many things that we can do. Unscripted, as you said, our brand spanking new channel, fully inspirational, can get a lot of ideas. So thank you very much, Brother Ken. Thank you so much. Again,
Likewise,
a very,
brother.
very powerful session, and I wish you well. I hope everything you get well soon. And to our viewers, we'll catch up with you in a week's time, and stay tuned. Thanks.
Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.